behavior is tools. This tool cannot be allowed. Aggressive behavior cannot be allowed to be successful for you. I need you to drop that tool and pick up a better one.
Yeah.
But like that's the level of morality involved at this stage, which is basically zero.
Yeah.
We don't allow anybody to hurt other people. I don't let people hurt that precious body. I don't let you be the thing that hurts. That's my job as the adult to say, I'm the one who's in charge of safety here.
Yeah.
And no matter what you want, I will be the obstacle to you hurting other people.
Yeah.
We will find other ways for you to get what you want, or I will help you with the feeling that you don't get to have what you want right now, which is super hard feeling.
Sure.
Whoa.
Lane, something happened the other day, and this topic is going to be right on the money. 2 little toddlers in my life that I love very, very much. Neither of them are my children. Okay. One little toddler was being aggressive with the other little toddler.
In what way?
Like pushing him away, hitting him, not wanting his toy, whatever. The moms don't really know each other. I am very close to both of the moms, like longtime friends of both of them, love them a lot. And so the one kid is the aggressor, right? He's being very aggressive. The other kid is not being treated very nicely.
Yeah.
And the mom of the other kid says to me separately, gosh, that kid's really a bully, huh? He's such a bully. And I immediately got defensive.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because I am obsessed with this mom who said it and love her kid. But I was like, oh, he's not a bully.
He's not a bully.
He's like a sweetheart. I was like, I've actually known him since he's a baby. He's so sweet. And she's like, oh, he was being such a bully. And I'm like, oh, but he's not a bully. And she's like, no, but he is. Like basically, like he was. We were laughing about what a bully he is. And as she's saying it, I'm like, oh, but he's not. Like he might be in a stage, but like he's not a mean boy.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, my kid has never been treated that way. And okay, so then I'm realizing like basically what happened in the moment was I got sort of elevated, which I wish I didn't. I wish I was able to be like, oh yeah, that probably felt huge to you. You've never had your child be treated in a way that this was happening. But what felt huge to me is this little child who I've known since he was a baby. And I know that he is not, if we're going to label bully, he is not a bully. Yeah. He is a 2-year-old who was trying to interact with another little toddler. Anyway, I like felt embarrassed afterwards. I first to the one, I was like, I'm sorry that I like got so big about this because
you get big about it? What did you, what felt
I
that
think
way?
What I wish I would have done is I wish I would have just asked some more questions because I think what she meant was that didn't feel good to her.
Right.
What I wish I got to was like, what was that like for you? Sorry that happened. And then be able to say, he's actually not a bully. And you know what's worse is like your little one might do that eventually too. And it is so freaky. Like it is to be the mother of the aggressor is very shocking and very elevating beyond like I'm just elevated in that moment. Yeah. I'm feeling inside like for this child and he's not even my kid.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling like, no, don't label him bully. Like don't call him mean boy. Because he's actually just boy learning. He's just little 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I realized after, because then Sean was there for it. And like later, I was like, Sean, I feel kind of embarrassed. And he was like, you don't have to be embarrassed. He's like, that is a weird thing. He's like,
sorry, just to be clear, what you actually did in the moment was just say, no, he's not a bully.
Wait,
I'm trying to figure out what you're embarrassed about because I'm over here ready to yell.
It's basically, I appreciate that. It's basically that I did it to the point of not letting this woman express her full experience. Okay. And I wish I just would have been like, tell me more about your experience. Because her experience was I brought my child to the park. He was mistreated. Yeah. He was pushed. He was taken toys from over and over and over again. And while she's trying to tell me that, I'm stuck in defending this other little boy's position simply because it started by calling him a bully, which that whole thing, I'm like, no.
Well, you were triggered because an adult spoke aggressively and judgmentally about a baby child.
A baby that I care about.
That's right.
And I care about her kid. And I have the foresight of knowing like how this works. And I know that eventually kids just go through experiences where they don't treat other kids good.
Yeah.
And so I know like, oh man, one day you're going to be in that one and some other mom might, anyway, you know. Why I bring this to you is because there are some complicated emotions happening around aggressive children and then around being the kid who has been on the receiving end of aggression. And what's funny is now I have 3 kids. And so I have in my little array of children, both the one who tends to be aggressive and the one who tends to be on the receiving end of whatever kind of aggression it is. And so I've lived through both of those feelings. Also inside our shop here, because we do these gatherings for moms throughout the week, I watch it play out in real time. These little sweet babies turn into toddlers. And some of them become particularly aggressive. And it is a weird dynamic between moms. And the other day, one of them was talking about like, at the park, they now call my son like a mean boy, but it's just because he's big for his age. He's actually very young, but he's big. So he comes and he pushes or he takes something. But I know Lane well enough to know all of this stuff about toddlers now to be like, he's not being mean. He views that thing as like the goal and this child as the obstacle. And I only know that because you've explained it. So anyway, guys, my name is Jessica Hover and I care a lot about this topic. And this podcast is a really good one. So who are you?
I'm Lane Dealing-Sherland. I also care a lot about this topic. And this is Very Good Enough, a podcast from Very Good Mothers Club. And today we are going to talk about toddler aggression. It's such a tricky thing to talk about. I don't think this is going to be a super long episode. No. I don't think we're going to delve super deep. I'm going to try to address like the top layer of questions, all of which are brought up in the stories you just told, to just kind of give us an arc here. I would like to do something more in depth about that. So
like
at
a
the
course
end,
at some point.
Something. So at the end, I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to ask for some feedback from you, some involvement from you in like what would best serve you on this topic. But first, let us go on a journey together. And then let us see where else we can go at the end.
Totally. And moms, we just want you to feel really seen. Like inside of it, if you see yourself as the mom of the kid who's been mean lately, mean in air quotes, or the one who's been bullied lately, air quotes as well, because both of those really stink. We just want you to feel seen and then give you some like tools and tips and love.
Yes. So I just said in the episode that we did a little bit earlier today, I made a point about how you guys are not professional moms. You are just women who had babies and are trying to figure this out. Part of the journey to become a professional with children has a lot to do, which anybody could go get paid to offer professional childcare. But for me, the value of being professional in this field, one of the big initial things that you have to learn how to do inside is to stop making assumptions about the motivation of a child. We project a ton. Well, for just people are constant. We're projecting almost our whole reality is just a projection of something else in our subconscious, you know? So like we're endlessly in adult circumstances being like, oh, she didn't text me. She must have felt really, oh shit, that thing I said in the text before is why she didn't text me. And we're constantly impugning motives. I don't think that's the right word, but like placing our ideas of motivations into other people based on what we've experienced in the past or based on how we feel about ourselves. And ideally we grow out of that more and more each passing year as just adults, but we must, if we're ever to be fair to children, learn how to stop doing this to them because they are not small adults. They are not feeling like we are feeling. They're not processing like we're processing. They're not doing things for the same reasons that adults would be doing things. And we frequently look at children, especially when they're being emotionally manipulative or physically aggressive, and we look at it as though they're doing that for the same reason that we would be doing that. And in that case, it's terribly alarming. It would be terribly alarming were I to choose to bite you. That would be insane. What a crazy thing for another person, for an adult to do to a friend or foe.
Never thought this through, but yes.
Horrific, right? In movies, when you want to show that someone's a really dirty fighter, they bite somebody. Right? Like it's feral. It's intense. It's kind of disgusting. If I were to bite you and break your skin, you could get an infection. Like there's an animal thing to it. It would be a wild way for an adult to behave. Oh my God.
Yes. Right.
And a lot of people watch a toddler bite another toddler, or even hear that their toddler has been bitten or that their toddler bit someone. And they're like, you mean my toddler encountered a wild animal? You mean a savage is loose in your classroom? Or are you saying that my child is an absolute animal? Like what we put this weight of what it would mean for adults with developed prefrontal cortexes who know what it feels like, who can empathize with another person, who know about respect and dignity. Like we put all of that weight into these actions of tiny, tiny children who just got here. And we go, oh my God, your child is a biter. Ew.
And what does this mean about the parents? Because that was the other thing at play in that conversation in the beginning, is what it felt like as the listener was an assumption about the toddler and about the home life. But I actually know the home life very well. And so it was like, wait, you're wrong. Like whatever that feeling is.
16-year-old is at school beating the shit out of people frequently. You go, oh, where are we getting these ideas? Why is this the solution? What is it about you, 16-year-old, that your level of emotional disruption is so high and your ability to regulate your physical response to your insides is so low? This is an adult's problem.
Yes.
Definitely.
That's such a good way of describing it.
But
Because if it was grown.
When you're 2, you're not 16.
Right.
When you're 2, you're just trying shit out for the very first time. So we got to start with, I don't know why that kid did that. They did a thing. We have got to bring down, and I bring up the professionalism gap here because I do this as a person who has seen hundreds and hundreds of small children. I've watched them all. I've seen them all. I've seen every version of biting. I've like been there and have an emotional distance from it. Right. It says nothing about me that your child in my class bit somebody else's child in that class. I identify with that in no way. Right. It reflects on me in no way. If there's a lot of biting going on in my class and I'm not dealing with it, that's we got a culture problem in my classroom, but I am not a bad teacher because there's no, you know? So there will be a level of emotional, you will be heightened emotionally more than I will be. The goal is not for you to be professional about your child. Right. At all. No. But draw some, here's an offering from way over here where professionalism is my goal, where a level of detachment is essential for me to do my job super well. Pulling out our immediate judgments on a child's motives is so needed, you guys. To call something mean, even when it hurts someone, is like, something is not mean just because it hurts somebody. Meanness is a thing inside where you look at another person, are capable of registering them as another person, and choose to do a hurtful thing to hurt them. Otherwise, it's not mean. It's not mean, actually. Bullying is targeting another person repeatedly and specifically and pretty publicly, usually. Usually there's a humiliation aspect to bullying. It is repeated. It is targeted and specific. It does not happen in the course of one day. Right. You could be aggressive with somebody for one day and not be that person's bully. It's not bullying. Bullying has a definition. Meanness has a definition. Harm is a neutral thing. You cause harm in a lot of ways. I could accidentally cause you a lot of harm. Sure. I can hurt someone in a ton of ways. I can purposefully hurt them, which is mean. Yeah. Or they could be collateral damage on my way to doing something else, which is thoughtless, not okay, needs to be tended to and is not mean. Yeah. You know?
And some of it I'll add is like developmental, right? Because like my son was at the playground the other day and there were some 5 and 6-year-olds treating him in a certain way, taking his snacks, filling it with sand, throwing rocks at his head, calling him names. Awful. Yeah. It was really terrible. Really and so the way it played out, Eloise like saw it because Wilson was crying for help and then got Sean involved and the parents were involved. Now that's a bit different because these are a collection of older children, older being 5, 6, you know, intending, talking about it with a plan. So then you would be like, hey guys, that was a mean way of treating someone. That was not a nice way of treating someone. That's entirely different from a 1, 2, 3-year-old stealing a ball, pushing someone over, biting them, also aggressive, also causing harm.
Yes. And we stop harm.
And
we don't allow harm to happen.
Oh yeah. That's a great point. But not then mean.
Yep.
Like, you are so mean.
Yep.
That was so mean. You can teach a kid like, hey, I don't know, I'll talk to Wilson. Hey, buddy, when we treat people like that, that's not a nice way of treating our friends. That's actually a mean way. When we hurt them, they don't like that. That does not feel good. We want to be nice friends. We want to be gentle with our friends. Whatever, you can teach them words, but you don't then turn around and deduct from the situation like that is a mean child with mean parents or whatever, you know?
Yes.
Because it's an age thing.
And as a person who has like really done the work of being professional about this, I feel fury when I hear an adult label another child as a bully or as a mean person or as a whatever. When I hear an adult say that about a tiny child, that's an adult problem to me. Whoa, that's an adult problem to me.
That's why this conversation is important, because I don't think people realize that it's so separate. It's the few years difference between 1, 2, 3-year-olds versus 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Really different.
So much changes.
Yeah. So just to clarify about toddlers. Toddlers, we're defining them here as being about 1.5 to about 3 is kind of that zone. And we're going to talk about toddler aggression today. A lot of this will still move into the 3-year-old space, not much beyond that.
Cool.
Just always want to give you guys the parameters around like when I'm speaking from expertise, like this is how far we take it. And past that, I could give you some opinions, but like we're putting a cap on what I know for sure. Toddlers are looking for the most direct route from where they currently are to where they want to be. I want to have that thing. I want to play with that person. I want to go home. I want to sit over there. What is the most direct route to get what I want? And they don't care. They don't know to care. They couldn't possibly consider what is the best route. They're looking for the straightest route. And toddlers do not have the ability, this develops in that 3-year-old year, to know that another person has a perspective. For them, they're the only person. It's really interesting that other things kind of look like me, but I'm the only person.
Right.
And then there's my mom and my dad. And those are kind of secondary. But even you, like they don't know that you have feelings. They don't think about, they cannot think about the fact that like in the way that my body would hurt, your body would hurt. It's not available to them yet. They're encountering for the first time the experiences that slowly over time make it start to dawn on them. They're using these experiences to build the circuitry in the brain to sort of like realize at 3-year-old, like, oh my God, you are a person like I'm a person and what? And then they get super interested in each other. But your toddler is naturally, correctly egocentric. Their job right now is to learn that they exist and what it's like to be them. So that's the level of like rough material that we're using right now. All they want is what they want. You can only give them the motive of trying to get what they want. A lot of the time what they want is sweet, tender snuggles. Cool. A lot of the time what they want is to discover something new. They're curious. They want to know, like a lot of me getting what I want is beautiful and amazing and super exciting. But it's all just me getting what I want. And so another person is an interesting thing to explore. Like a giant pile of sand is an interesting thing to explore. And yet you get such interesting responses from them. And it does take on a little bit of this like psychopathic tendency sometimes where you're like, what? You did this terrifying thing because you just like wanted to know. And as an adult with full mental capacity, oh my God, it's really like, whoa. And I put a cap on that. That's just my feeling. That's not true about them. It's not true about them at all that they did this antisocial thing. You can't be antisocial until you've developed the capacity to be social, right? So your toddler wants a thing and there's a person who has that thing. The clearest solution to that is to eliminate that person and have that thing. That's mechanical and clinical and straightforward and unemotional. Now, we don't allow anybody to hurt other people. I don't let people hurt that precious body. I don't let you be the thing that hurts. That's my job as the adult to say, I'm the one who's in charge of safety here. And no matter what you want, I will be the obstacle to you hurting other people.
Yeah.
We will find other ways for you to get what you want, or I will help you with the feeling that you don't get to have what you want right now, which is super hard feeling.
Sure.
Whoa, super hard feeling. But it's not available to a toddler to consider that another person might be hurt or harmed. It is the adult's job to identify that to a toddler so that they start to notice, not to make them feel it deep in their soul. They cannot. I'm telling you now, clinically, they cannot. Sometimes they will see another person cry and begin to cry because, whoa, they're having a weird an experience will happen. I'm not saying you'll never see them respond emotionally to another person.
Sure.
But those are very early glimmers of what is to come.
Yeah.
To set the expectation that a toddler would care for someone else is it's an uneducated stance to take on. You may see them participate in caring, and increasingly so as they get closer and closer to being 3-4.
Sure.
Great. Love it. Not drawing a line for you here that you're never going to see this from your kid, but in terms of what they can do and what would be mean for them.
Yeah.
And even what would be kind for them. They may do a kind act. It's not really coming from a place of kindness. They're swept up in the moment and trying something, and it will become kindness later as they enjoy the social reward
and celebrate it, because they also are going to figure out like, oh, I like doing the things that we celebrate. So when I treated this other kid in this particular way, everyone around me said that was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'll do that again. But that's so good. I was thinking while you're talking, one thing that happens to us as moms specifically is we kind of identify so strongly with our kid. It feels like our heart's walking around outside our body. You've heard people say that. So I wonder if what happens when our kid slaps another kid across the face. This happened recently in our shop. Aww. What it can feel like to the mom is like almost like I just slapped my friend's child in the face. And because it's happened now more than one time where I'll be like at a park or something and the kid is aggressive and the mom just bursts into tears. And it's not the mom of the kid who was hurt. It's the mom of the kid who did the hurting. And it's just this like rush of emotion of like, we just did that. Like I somehow was just a part of what happened to that little kid. And I love what you're saying because it really requires some separating and realizing that developmentally your child is right on track. They're having to learn these skills and they cannot yet use that type of logic that you use, which is we don't want to hurt each other. Right. So you're having to be the barrier and really separate. And did your son or daughter just hurt your friend's child? Yes. So sorry that happened. That was so hard for all of you. And not a mean child. No. Sorry, little one who just got hurt. How do we help protect you all from this happening again? You're not a bad mom. And to the mom who's just like, oh my gosh, my child just got smacked in the face. What do I do? Yeah. You don't then have to like shelter your baby from all of that. No. This is just very much a part of the stage they're in learning how to relate to each other.
Yeah, it is just the stage they're in. And a big part of like the stage they're in is that they are themselves as they walk away from you and exist out in that world. They are in fact differentiating from you. Like that's part of the developmental stage is that they're learning that they're not you. Yeah. And there is it's an invitation, and it's also really a requirement of you to take that as an opportunity to let them, to you inside, not withdraw from them, but know that, yes, this is you going out and being someone who's separate from me. I'm not you. And I'm here with you. I'm so here with you. Yeah. I'm so connected to you, but I am not you. And standing on the outside looking in, like I have got to advocate to you on behalf of your child that like if you want them to grow a strong sense of self, learn how to be a person out there, there's a big piece of that is mom saying like, yes, you are a separate person with a strong sense of self. Yes, you are you, and I'm not you. And when you do things or when things happen to you, I am not enmeshed in your experience. Yeah. I am here and present and so focused and so connected on it, but it's not me. You're not me. And we talk about my friend, Dr. Sam Reeder, a lot, who does a really great job of talking about how in order for there to be relationship, there have to be two things. Like nothing can have a relationship with its own one. Like a relationship is what passes between two things. And if we are so closely smashed together, there's no space between us for anything to pass. I can't even see you if I'm pressed up against you. So if you would like to have a really, really lush relationship with your child as they grow, like one of the essential requirements of that is that you are able to acknowledge inside yourself that there are two of us here.
Yeah.
We are far enough apart that we can turn and face one another, and like stuff can pass between us. And this is a powerful moment to get a little taste of that on the more like negative feeling side, even of being like, I respect you enough to know that your mistakes out in the world are not my mistakes. I'm here to help you through them. Yeah. But part of me being able to be here and help you through them is this essential thing of me being out on the outside. I'm outside of the thing you did.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see you. I'm going to guide you because I'm not you.
Yeah.
Because of course, if your little toddler feels like they are you, then when they hit someone, you're going to weep. Yeah. Terrible. What a terrible, scary feeling. So my hope as the outsider person who doesn't have to do that inside journey is to offer a little bit to you of like, you could come stand a little closer to me over here in the space of I'm ratcheting down the intensity. This is not, my child is not an adult hurting, being mean to another adult, right? Like out of adult emotions or adult motivations. My child is not a little monster out there. Oh no, I'm the one who birthed the monster. Like, no. Let's like take all those stories out of here. Let's pull back our assumptions about children, our own and other people's. You can't drop your assumptions about your own child and keep villainizing other people's children. You actually won't do that. You will just keep yourself in a space of judgment and labeling, which just makes you a less good meter for what's good. It makes you a little bit less trustworthy to yourself and a little less trustworthy to your kid. Yeah, there's a warping in perspective there if you feel like you need to label what's good and what's bad and what we're going to call them and separate them out like this. Like we want to come into a place of being like behavior is tools. This tool cannot be allowed. Aggressive behavior cannot be allowed to be successful for you. I need you to drop that tool and pick up a better one. Yeah. But like that's the level of morality involved at this stage, which is basically zero.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? So what I'm thinking about is we identify with our kids, right? They hit someone, we like freak out because we're like, oh my gosh, essentially I just hit someone kind of. Okay. When I was talking to my friend about this incident that happened and I was saying like, he's actually a really sweet boy. He just was acting up at the park, but the mom was like trying to resolve it. And I actually know the mom has cried over this to me. Like, I don't know why suddenly he's in a position where he'll like push kids down. Yeah. What my friend said, who was like saying he was kind of being a bully, she said, well, didn't he have to learn this behavior somewhere?
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that's probably a very typical question that people would ask, and probably why when our own kid hits someone, we think, oh my gosh, not only did my kid just do this thing that I'm like mortified by, but there's going to be a level of judgment about either like I taught him or someone taught him. And so I just would love to present that to you. Yeah. Do these kids learn these things? I have an opinion on it, but do they learn to push? Do they learn to bite? Or is it something they figure out their body's capable of? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I already said the thing, right, about like if this was a high schooler.
Yes, you did. Okay. Which was very helpful.
Great. So no, they don't have to learn how to do that. They don't have language or social skills. All that they've experienced so far is a physical life in a physical body. They just use this, everything that they get or don't get in life. It's just all happening through this body. So the feeling is, I want that thing. And I just use my body to get that thing in sort of whatever way. They're very unsophisticated in getting
kind
what
of
getting
like
what they
animal,
want. They're
animalistic,
very
right?
forceful, but very unsophisticated. Okay. Right. So it actually, let's to their credit, acknowledge that it actually is the most direct path to getting what you want. If a different child has a toy that you want, the most direct path to getting that toy is to get rid of that child and take that toy. Like, it's just like, duh, right?
Yeah, so true.
It's actually quite sophisticated to choose not to take the most direct path because we are social beings that want to exist in groups together. That's actually pretty sophisticated. It's kind of,
that's good.
It's counterintuitive in a lot of ways until you've learned and until you've experienced the rewards of cooperation enough time to be like, oh, I actually like this better. I like working well with you better than I like just getting what I want. That's a lot to ask. And that's something that you have to learn to instinctively feel some form of a hunger inside and go satisfy that hunger. That's pretty base.
Cool.
It's like basic instincts, right? To start out this way. We start out pretty rough.
Sure.
We start out pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
We start out pretty, just like lower level instincts.
Yeah,
you know, we're hungry,
direct.
we desire things, we feel a stimulation, we act out of it. Stimulation happens, impulse happens. Like that's super, super normal. Things that are not normal. Very specific kinds of hurting someone, right? If you've got like a 3-year-old who's pinching somebody where you can't see, going in to make sure that leaving little bruises and weird, or the level of when there's like a knowledge about something, that's a little weird. Let's check out. Let's just
or certain words used at the same time as a injury, or like at the preschool, I heard some very specific swear words used at the same time as a move, and you're
accurately,
you're like, okay, older sibling maybe, or somewhere that was obviously learned because that was language was involved,
right. But I want to play with that person. They're playing with you. I don't like it, and I barreled into you to just move your body over roughly. Like no one needs to teach you how to do that.
Sure,
we can all feel that inside of our bodies, right?
True.
Okay, so I know that we're deep enough into this episode already that I can hear the comments crying out for just tell us what to do, right? So I'm going to tell you what to do right now, and then I'm going to say some more of stuff like this.
Perfect.
So we've brought ourselves down to neutral. We understand these are tools. These are developmentally normal tools. Kicking, biting, scratching, wrestling, pulling of hairs, even causing some hurt to get what you want, or to get someone out of the way, or to get out of something that you don't want. This is really normal. Almost all children will explore some version of this in some ways to find out if this is a good tool to use. A lot of them will be met with a lot of success because these are impactful things to do. They do cause the impact that you want. And we know that's one of the fundamental things that a toddler is trying to figure out, what impact do I have on this world? So unfortunately, these are pretty successful in the lesser version of success. They're pretty directly effective. So what we want to be doing for them is really making these tools very unsuccessful. It needs to become very frustrating and uncomfortable for them every single time they do this, so that when they then go to do this, they think of the feeling of being thwarted and frustrated. I want it to be uncomfortable for the child who is aggressive to be hurting other people, period. So that we can offer them in that same exact moment better tools. No, you will not. This will not work for you. This could work. Try this. No, this could work. Try this. No, this could work. Try this. And then when they try this one, immediately we're back into the fold. High success.
Cool.
I want it to feel really good when you use a more successful tool, and really aggravating, almost boring to a 2-year-old to be one who's hitting other people.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Unsuccessful that it sucks.
Yeah.
Sucks for you if you use this tool.
Yeah.
Delightful for you. Love it instantly. No punishments. You don't need to pay us back for this.
Right.
You just need to stop doing that and do all these other things that work. We're just trying to bring them into the space of yes.
Yeah.
Because fundamentally, that's what they want.
Yeah.
Actually, what you want is to be part of this group in a way that feels nice. So I'm going to be over time consistently bringing you back into this place where it's good. I will always stop you. So quickly, the difference between a boundary and a rule is that a boundary tells you what I will do in a certain circumstance. And a rule says you must or you may not. So if you tell your tiny toddler, no hitting, you may not hit ever. That's a rule. It's a fine rule. I don't think it's going to be very effective because your toddler does not hold rules in their mind. They don't have a reward system in their mind for I follow a good rule and it's good, or a bad rule and it's bad. Or sorry, don't follow the rule and it's bad. They don't retain like that. It's non-functional.
Sure.
But I'm the adult and I'm in charge of safety. So I will remove you. I will move you if you hit her. This is how we use our hands. If you hurt her, I will move you. I'm going to move my body, which is also different from a threat, which is you better not hurt her. You know what I'm going to do if you hurt her? So, we've got two ends here. One is I'm trying to control your behavior in a way that's whatever, but just not going to be very successful. And then on the other end, we've got get scared of me, which is also. But if you hurt her, if you push her with your hands, if your hands push, I like that even better. If your hands push, I will move your body away. I'm going to pick up your body and move it away. I don't let people hurt her body. This is my precious friend. I don't let people hurt your body. I won't let you hurt her. Okay.
It's really good.
And so there's the big I won't. It's deep inside of I won't let people be hurt where I'm in charge, and I won't let you be the thing that hurts. Yeah. Nobody wants to be the mean one. No. Nobody wants to be that kid. It sucks over there too, but they don't have a better way to get what they want, or they haven't been invited into something that's good enough that it's motivating to get what they want. So children who are doing this over and over and over in long-term ways are people who have not been given skills to really get the thing they want, which is good cooperation within the group, or haven't enjoyed enough of how nice it is to be together and do it in the nice way.
Yeah, that's great.
So there's the big I won't, and then there's the little I won't, which is I won't let you hurt her. I won't. And it's still not like you have to stop, because that's not an inside motivation.
A really good picture of this was actually recently in a gathering I was hosting. A sweet little boy, almost 2 years old, whacked another little girl right in the face.
Ouch.
Everyone, we all took good care of it. And moments later, he said, "What happened?" And he was being so genuine. Like, it was such a pure-hearted, like, what happened? Why is everyone,
all the adults lost their minds?
Yeah. Why did you move her? Why did you move me? Like, it was just so good for me to see. He's a bigger little boy.
Yeah.
But that's really how it is. Like, they don't have all of these connections that we have.
Yes.
And so that's like so helpful is, okay, when you do this, I will move you. That's so fast. That's so like right here in this one moment. Not if you do this, then later something, and then we won't be able to come back here. And then oh, it's too much. He's going to ask you what happened in like 2 seconds.
Also, so now you're just mad because your voice is just chattering in a way that can't be comprehended. Nothing makes me more angry, me, Lane, than being confused.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You're like, now I'm confused. Yeah, I just think this is so good. So something happens immediately. Yes. We'll be moving you. I'm sitting here. You can't play with this. Like, whatever is whatever is logical to the moment that you're in, you have to stop the thing that's taking place.
Yeah. So to get like real practical about it, if there's been an act of aggression here, great, no problem. I'm now here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to be having this conversation with this other mom for this moment, because there's something important that needs to be taught here. I'm now here with the children playing. And I'm telling you, if your hands hurt people, only people whose hands are gentle, this is what gentle hands feel like, are sitting here. Ouch. No, thank you. And then there's a big scoop and transfer immediately.
That's good.
And I'm not big on like, we need to be in a totally different place now. Like, my preference is that like the one child is on one side of my body. This child can be close to that other child if they're gentle. If not, they just get immediately scooped to the other side of my body. I just want to remove them quickly from the thing that they want, so that it's clear you will not ever get this thing in that way. I will make sure it immediately and pretty neutrally just kind of sucks for you if you try to do it that way. Seems like you wanted a thing. Did you want to be here playing with us? Great. Over here, we're going to touch gently. Show me. I'm going to show them with my hands. I'm going to use their little hands to touch me correctly, to hold the toy in a way that's not harsh. And then you can come back. And if you do it again, you're goner. You're way over there. Yeah. I will slide a child quickly across the floor with my little hand, gently, swiftly, lovingly, quickly away. And then I will hold them away and let them be upset. Ideally, I want them to be a little upset about it. I want them to use their hand in a way that is rough, and then they feel a little upset. I want it to feel a little bad, which is pretty different from a punishment, right?
Sure,
this is where I'm not taking out and spanking. I'm not biting you back when you bite me, because I think that's too much. I don't think they can connect that. I think they're just hurt. And I, in a way that I don't.
And they're asking, what happened?
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
Right.
But I want you to be a little bummed, so that I can go, oh, I see that you're upset. Do you want to be with us? I would love for you to be with us. My goal is that you come back. Absolutely come back and practice in this lovely way. I'm happy to help you.
That's great.
Happy to help you.
Yeah.
And if we need to leave, or we need to go way over there and integrate you in some other play because this person is not working for you today, they're vibey. I don't know. I still don't think it's bullying, but sometimes there's a weird vibe between a couple of kids, and maybe we should just get a little distance there.
Something fresh.
Whatever. But that's the motion that I want it to be, of like, I won't let you hurt people. No, we are using our gentle hands here. Show me. Great. Wonderful. Be here. Oh, yikes. Ouch. No, thanks. I do like to, when we're in a calmer a little bit of a calmer space. I want them to sort of see like, look at her face. Ow, look, she's crying. That hurts. When we touch people like this, it hurts them. Show me what's gentle. Would you like to bring her something? I wonder what we could do. Like if there's an opportunity for
Help
that.
them be a part of it.
Yeah. If there's an opportunity for caregiving for the person who's been hurt, great. That's not something I'm forcing. That's opportunities that I'm looking for.
And it'll probably be easier if you're dealing with like a 2 or 3-year-old versus 1-year-old
Yeah.
who's still trying to figure all this out.
The
But I love
1-year-old
that.
is very puppy training
Sure.
of like just frustrating for you. Like I'm a door that slams the second you do that. Oh, you want to come back in? Great. Be like this. Slams the second you do that. I guess we're going to go do something else. I hope you throw a tiny tantrum about it. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's plug into something else and we'll try again. You know, so there's real training involved here. And I respect that it would feel really challenging on like your one morning where you get to see friends. It's tricky. Like a lot of compassion for that.
Yeah.
But if the consistent experience is when I use my body roughly, when I hurt, like when I feel this impact, then it's a hard no for me. And I'm being shown pretty consistently what else I can do with my body, how else I could try to get something. And someone's there to just help me with the feeling of a lot of the time it is, I want what that person has. And my adult answer is just no. That's not available. No. Would you like something else? Yeah, this is tough. I'd be happy to snuggle you while you're sad that you don't get to have that. You get to be sad that you don't get to have that. And segue, you get to be mad that you don't get to have the thing you want. You get to be mad that I'm saying no. It's allowed to be upsetting for you.
Yeah.
Segueing into aggression is a natural part of the human experience. We want things. We need things. And when we're 1 and 2, we're wrong about the difference between that. We think we need everything that we want. And we're wrong. And we're allowed to be wrong. And when we don't get stuff we need, we're upset about it. When someone crosses over the edge of who we are, as we often talk about, anger should come up when somebody crosses our boundary. When we're 1 and 2, we are wrong about how far our boundaries extend, right? We feel violated all the time and we're wrong about that. And we just learn. We learn to deal and find out what actually is my territory and what's not my territory. As adults, ideally, if someone crosses into our territory, a rise comes up and I move them out where they belong. And if I need to be a little mad about it, or if someone really violates something that's important to me, I'm precious and worth protecting and I should be mad. And a lot of us are really, really separate from our own aggression. This is something that Jessica and I, to speak for you, are on a path about with this. We've been in a lovely way getting to learn more and more and more about what anger is for and what aggression is for and what self-protection and self-love and self-value look like on this podcast. We have some guests who've been here, but a lot of us are like, you should not be aggressive. My child should have no form of aggression inside. Oh no. When in fact, aggression is like a vital and protective, enlivening force. We should have something that's tingly and sparkly and alert inside that flares up really significantly when we need to be protected, and also just kind of motivates us and agitates us when something's not going well in our life. There should be something that goes like, you know, we want that piece of us to be integrated. So it's important to be honest with ourselves as adults. Are we trying to prohibit aggression in all its forms? Because that is something that, like, psychologically, that's us trying to split off an essential piece of who we are and now of who our child is and sort of banish it. And so either we're going to, if we're successful in that, we are adult women who have either lost some of that vibrating life energy, don't know how to protect ourselves, kind of bleed out, maybe are a little undermotivated, unambitious, can't find the drive that we need inside, can't say like, this is making me uncomfortable, I'm going to leave, don't know how to honk when someone's like done something really dangerous and they clearly can't see us. We don't know how to make noise and be like, I'm here, don't hit me. We think it's mean to honk our horn. Or we are people who are so pleasant all the time, except for the secret times when we freaking explode in ways that we can't control or don't know about, or to shock us. Or if we're really honest, some of us have some kind of weird cruelties and some weird raging inside. It's twist that the aggression that we've tried to shove down twists in a weird way. And we're people who are kind of resentful, kind of cutting about gossip in some sneaky way.
Because it always finds its way out, huh? Because of what you're saying, because it's a part of who we are. And so we're trying to learn how to use it and then also teach our children how to use it appropriately.
What we want is to welcome that part, know about it, have it be part of us, use it to fuel our lives, use it to say, stop your body. This is dangerous for me. I don't like the way this man is speaking to me. I'm going to leave.
Sure.
Don't crash into my car. I'm going to use my horn to aggressively let you know that I'm right here because we're in danger. You know, like we want to be comfortable with that. We want to have moments in our intimate relationship where our husband has said something so offensive to us and that we cry and say, I hate it that you said that to me. That hurt me. Yeah. Like, so that we can work it out together and he can take care of the fact that he hurt it. Like, right. We want to have that be part of us functioning well. So it doesn't need to be those weird, sneaky things, or it doesn't have to explode because it ventilates regularly as it should. It's doing its job. And this is what we want for our children is to say, when your aggression comes up, I won't let you hurt people. I won't let you hurt me. I won't let you hurt yourself. You are always allowed to be mad. Yeah. You may go outside and stomp your feet as hard as you want. I got a DM from someone asking how to get her toddler to stop stomping his feet. And I was like,
take him outside.
I don't know that I'm the person you're going to talk to. Yeah. Because I think your toddler should stomp their feet when they're mad. Great. What a great way to make some noise, to feel that feeling of like,
feeling out. Yeah.
If they have not bitten you, they're not screaming uncontrollably.
They're not hurting anyone.
Yeah. When you said no, they didn't run to go pinch the baby or the dog. Like, cool. They stomped their feet. Cool. That's so appropriate. When you feel this feeling of punching in your arms, I believe in that feeling of punching in you. That's real. This is a big, tough pillow. Anytime you want to come over here and use your little fists on this pillow, you go ahead and you do that. Yeah. Let's go outside and be as loud as you can. I see that you're mad. That makes sense to me. I will not let you XYZ. When you're mad, we can go outside and we can be as loud as we want. Inside is not a good place for you to be as loud as you can. That hurts our ears. Would you like to do that outside? I'm happy to have you. Go outside and ventilate your aggression in this appropriate way. It's a flow. Something is coming up in this child. And we get to be the ones who help teach them how to direct that flow. That's great. But that does require us to really be honest, like take an honest inventory of our own relationship to aggression and find out, are we trying to eliminate anger? Are we trying to pretend that there's no such thing as negative emotions? And in that way, really vacating an important place for us to be, which is a place that sees our children as whole beings, teaches them like where they can put those feelings, what they can do with that, what the appropriate way is to express, and also is on hand when it's just no. Like it's a lot of things in life are just no. And a lot of these aggressive moments come because children don't have someone there to be compassionate about the part where like, I saw you snatch that from her and I am giving it back to her. This is going to be a hard feeling. Yeah. And I would be happy to stand over here while you have a huge effing tantrum about it. And I won't even be embarrassed. Sure. You have as big a tantrum about this terrible feeling as you want. Yeah. And when you're all done, we'll just move on. Yeah. That's not my whole advice about tantrums. That's just an example.
It's a piece. About, it's so good. Right? And you could even share this. If any of this episode is like, whoa, this is really good. And relevant to you and your friend group, maybe share it with your core group of mom friends, because sometimes we're just lacking some tools or even like a framework for what all of this is. And we're all afraid that we're raising the like mean kid or we're afraid that our kid will be bullied. Yeah. And so we're like, oh no, like they just don't have the skills and we don't have the skills. If you guys all could have some language and some understanding, it also just helps to have more than one mom be looking out for our kid. If we know like, oh, so-and-so's little one is in a stage right now where he tends to hit when he wants to get something done. He's not a mean boy, but now there's a few of us to be like, oh, that's not how we use our body. That's not how we treat our friends. We can jump in and help each other and relieve. I'm thinking of like one mom in my life. She has a baby and a toddler going through that stage. What a gift to have some other mom friends just looking out for the older brother as he's trying to figure out what he feels and how to relate to other people. So I think this is so helpful. I mean, it's so helpful for me listening as a parent, but I think like share this with your people if it helps give you some language for how to interact with these little ones.
Yeah. 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 And I'm feeling this feeling of like, God, there's just so much more. There's so much more to say about this. I do feel like I am not in a negative way, but like I feel like I'm underserving this topic in our space and I would like to.
It comes up all the time.
It comes up all the time and there's so much nuance to it. There's a part about speaking to other adults in your life. There's also a part about like reactive aggression from your child. And there's so many flavors to it. And then also like actually, I think my child is doing this in a way that seems abnormal. And can we talk about that? Or atypical is the word I'd prefer to use, but like there's just
magical.
So much, there's so much to it. And I don't feel confident about how to fully serve you guys. We could do a 2 years worth of podcasts about toddler aggression. So I don't want to just keep doing them here. I don't like to put out reels about this because it's such a nuanced topic. So I'd like to do something for you guys that is a course or a piece of literature or a something. Yeah. And if you would, please send me an email. Email us at verygoodenoughpod@gmail.com. I'd like to know how many of you are interested and like what kinds of flavors of this you'd like to talk about. Feel free to share stories if you're like, you didn't really touch on this thing that's really bothering me. But please let me know if this is a topic that you're interested in, because I'd really like to make something for you. But I need to hear from you about what the flavor of that could be and what kind of format. Are you people who want to buy a course? Are you people who would rather read an ebook? Are you people who want like what do you, how do you Zoom like information?
Questions
even a coaching session.
You could do, you could do like a group coaching session or something, because you'll have to prep for it too. Yes. So
and I want to put my effort into the way that's like gonna serve you the very, very most, because it is so important and it's so tender, and I don't want to miss, but I also don't want to be absent. So I just would really, really, really love to hear from you guys about this.
Great.
So that we can make something.
Great. Yeah. And I also feel like people are going to be asking, like, what happens when I'm the parent of the kid on the receiving end? Yeah. How do I respond? What do I do? The other parent maybe isn't paying attention or is minimizing what's happening or something. I feel like this could go on and on. So please respond wherever you see yourself in this. Please respond, because we would love to serve you best. And thank you. This was so good. Thank you guys. We'll see you soon. We love you. Bye.
Bye. Very Good Enough is a production of Very Good Mothers Club. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe and leave a little comment. And above all, text it to a friend.